Hello, welcome back to another episode of Hold, Flip or Dump. And today we are going to review three tokens. And we're going to choose one to hold, one to flip, and one to dump. And also what percentage of those we're going to hold, flip, and dump so that we can build a imaginary portfolio that we will not be investing in. This is not financial advice. We don't hold any of these tokens. This is just a fun little game we play every week. So please join us. And I'm here with Alex. How are you doing, Alex?
Yeah, good. Good afternoon, morning, afternoon, evening, regardless of where you're joining. And yes, I love the part of a fun little game. I feel sometimes that crypto is that fun little game. But yeah, good. Excited to learn more about these three tokens. This week, it's been Robin selecting the tokens, three trending tokens. Actually, seems quite different. I only have heard about two of them. So we'll get to that. We've got some news first. A lot has been happening in the past few weeks. So, Robin, would you like to crack on since you've got a few more articles and then we'll go into some analysis?
Yeah, this is hot off the press. 14 hours ago, the SEC has dropped its investigation into Ethereum. This is according to the consensus. The SEC's enforcement division said it's closing its investigation into Ethereum, though consensus says the fight isn't over yet. So this is good news for Ethereum holders and for the crypto community at large. That, of course, doesn't mean that the SEC is going to stop, and that's unfortunately the case with the SEC. Their job is to investigate these types of things, but the latest investigation, at least, has been dropped. So we can all at least celebrate in the short term. The United States Securities Commission and Exchange Commission, the SEC, is dropping its investigation to whether Ether is a security. So the debate has been going on for a long time now, and whether or not Ether, the native token of Ethereum, can be considered a security. And hopefully this is a sign of what's to come. We'll see. And a similar kind of thing has been going on with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is not a security, it turns out. But this has been going back and forth for a long time now. So it's good that it's been at least partially resolved. Any comments on that, Alex?
Yeah, no, I mean, great news. It just tells you, I mean, it's not that it tells you, but I think that if they were so determined to sue Ethereum and investigate and then all of a sudden dropping it, I'd like to know exactly why. Because it sounds a bit dodgy. And in any case, it's just ahead of ETHCC in Paris. It's supposed to be like a big Ethereum event in the community. And who knows? Just part of speculation. Maybe Gary Gensler's got a big Ethereum bag, wanted to drop some, news, try and pump that token, gets July, ETHCC, higher pump, sells for a profit, and then drops another suit. Who knows? Again, speculation. If you just cropped that bit of the video, that's not what is going on. It's purely just we know how crypto can get. But yes, great news. So hopefully, we can carry on doing our thing. What else have you got?
So this is another bit of news, again, hot off the press. But Bitwise has amended Ethereum ETF filing, saying Pantera interested in buying $100 million for that Ethereum ETF. So again, another bit of bullish news for Ethereum people, developers, and investors in that ecosystem. Asset management firm Bitwise has disclosed that Pantera, an investment management company, is interested in investing as much as $100 million in its upcoming spot ETF. The important thing to note is this is not a confirmation of that flowing in, but a expression of interest. But this could mean that it could be a sign, at least, of some significant inflows into that ETF, and therefore the Ethereum community and network at large. So good news again. Two bits of good news this week from the Ethereum side of things, and let's hope that continues. Looking at the price, let's have a quick look at just the top tokens. Has the Ethereum price been affected? No, it hasn't. There's been some significant drops in the last few days. Yeah, we were kind of sitting at $3,800, and now we're $3,500. So yeah, not great from a price point perspective, but potentially this good news could reverse that. We might see some gains this week. Overall, though, crypto market is downish in the last week or so, and otherwise mostly flat.
Yeah, it was bound to happen. And yeah, these are very good news. And it kind of feels that every time there's good news about Ethereum, there's no enough push. Whenever the fork happened into proof of stake, everybody was hoping there was going to be a huge bump. It didn't happen. There's been several new upgrades, and now this. So just, waiting for that big thing that's just really going to have an effect, and hopefully make a lot of money for a lot of people. But regardless, it's good news, because the more capital, even if it's that intent and that interest, and it's been confirmed publicly that they're interested in doing this, then just that could simply just add more capital, whether it's speculative capital or just essentially people knowing more about Ethereum and bringing their capital to that token. So yeah, good news.
All right, so let's move on to our first token of the day. This one, ZK Sync.
I've got something before we do that, because
sorry,
this is actually quite interesting. If anybody's missed it, are we back to the gold standard? Tether is launching a gold-backed US dollar stablecoin. So we all know Tether is the largest stablecoin issuer, and they also have a gold-backed token. I didn't know this, but very interesting. Here it is for everybody to check out. So what they are asking token holders is to add this Tether Gold as collateral in order to mint the new gold-backed stablecoin. So essentially, it's one token for another. But what that tells you is that you've got a stablecoin that's not necessarily backed by dollars. So generally, a lot of these companies, what they do is they've got part of the holdings are in dollars and the other part is in bonds. So it's just also not actual dollars. So in this case, what you've got is physical gold backing these tokens. So really, really interesting. Just would love to see what the adoption is going to be. I still don't know a lot about it. There is a website, if anybody's interested, called Alloy by Tether. You literally just type that on Google and it will take you straight to it. And if you currently have any tokens, you can start minting it. All you need to do is just leave some collateral. It needs to be Tether Gold, and then it returns you that stable coin. And again, not promotional. We're not sponsored by Tether yet. So Tether, if you see this, reach out. But what Tether is doing at the moment is giving a 2-to-1 ratio. So as I understand this, for every token you're burning or you're depositing as collateral, they'll give you 2 stablecoin tokens. So super interesting, because it just gives another level of security and reassurance, because that is the price of a physical asset, gold. So yeah, really, really interesting. In this case, instead of having a token that's worth, let's say, $2,000, because that's the price of an ounce of gold, what you've got is just the value of your stablecoin is just backed by physical gold. So slightly more complicated, but just giving more value to your stablecoin, if that makes sense. So Robin, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I love it. I love to see any kind of innovation, especially in the RWA stablecoin space. Tether, I think, are leading the charge when it comes to a lot of this RWA stuff. And I guess I don't fully understand utility, and why would I choose a gold-backed stablecoin over? Maybe you can answer this. I don't know, but like, why would I choose a gold-backed stablecoin over a standard USDT, USDC? Is there any benefit to me as a user of stablecoins?
It's just a different asset backing the value of your tokens. I'm not going to try and sound like an expert because I also don't fully understand it, but there are a lot of dangers in terms of depegging against the dollar, especially if you lose out a lot of the assets that are backing the value of your stablecoin. So my understanding with a gold-backed stablecoin is that it doesn't really matter what happens to the dollar. It doesn't really matter what happens in the US economy. What's giving value to the stablecoin is gold. So if the US economy tanks, you still have gold backing your stablecoins. So that is the key understanding that I take.
Okay.
If anybody's watching this and you've got a different input, please do let us know. But at the end of the day, it's the new token is a synthetic dollar, and just back to the gold standard. So giving a bit more value and solidity to the value of those coins, basically.
Okay, so if I guess if you're a long-term holder, you can choose this as a different way of securing your on-chain assets as opposed to the more traditional kind of multi-asset backing. Interesting. Okay.
Well, there we go. We'll share this. I interrupted you. You were about to present the 3 tokens, so go for it.
No problem. Yeah, let's do it. So 3 trending tokens. Like I said, Alex is going to first pick one to hold, one to flip, and one to dump. The first token we're looking at is ZK Sync, or ZK Sync if you're from the other side of the pond. Number 97 in terms of market cap rankings. And let's just have a quick look at the price for the last 3 months. It's been pretty flat. Not sure why this is trending. Last 24 hours, I guess there's been a bit of a bump, but certainly not any kind of crazy gains. It's actually a very new token by the looks of it. Max. This is okay. This is ZK Sync's airdrop, right? They have recently airdropped this token to I think it was a points farming system potentially, or maybe users of the network. I'm not sure exactly what criteria you needed to qualify for this airdrop, but that is why ZK Sync is trending, I think, because loads of people are talking about it because they're happy about getting their free money, of which I did not receive any. Did you get any in this airdrop, Alex?
No, I must say that I've never really interacted with the ZK Sync protocol or layer, or I'm not entirely sure what it is. And I didn't even know there was an airdrop. So good to find out more about it. Let's see what's going on. Do you know what ZK Sync is anyways?
I believe it's a ZK rollup, so a layer 2 based on Ethereum. And I don't know specifically what the benefits of the network are, like why you would use it, but I know it's a popular layer 2 on Ethereum, I'm pretty sure. Just looking at this article, a ZK Sync airdrop hunter receives $753,000 worth of ZK tokens before moving it to Binance. That is an impressive amount from an airdrop hunter. I wonder if this is one person or if this is like a airdrop farm, but yeah, good. That's a pretty hefty payday.
That's a lot of farming. I think that's a lot of farming. Must have been a developer, anybody deploying contracts, I'm guessing, because otherwise if you're just farming, it's a lot of effort for this. Something that I see on the website, I'm not sure what it is. Can you see this number just dropping?
TVL, yeah.
Although no, actually it's going up, but it says minus.
That's got to be
an error.
That's got to be an error, yeah.
Like,
I'm not sure you'd publicize that if that was true.
I mean, it's just going down very fast.
Either somebody's drained the network or there's a bug on their website, but somebody should fix that, I think.
Yeah. Wow.
So here's here we go.
But,
ZK Sync is a layer 2 Ethereum scaling protocol. The project launched the ZK token's first airdrop on Monday with a plan to distribute 70.5% of the asset's overall supply to 695,000 wallets.
okay. But what was the benefit of it against any other Ethereum-based projects?
I guess it's kind of competing with the likes of Blast and Base and Polygon. So speed and throughput are certainly important. Oh, here you go. Yeah, high performance verifiable modular rollups.
Do you know what elastic network means?
No, I guess it's a way of maybe moving resources around based on load. I know that elastic compute is a way of distributing compute resources based on demand. So maybe that's similar. I don't know.
Okay, cool, interesting. I think that this just escapes my development understanding. I guess that a metric that I'd like to know, it says 400 million transactions and 7 million addresses, but I'm not trusting this data on the website, and this number is exactly why I don't trust the data on this website, because it just doesn't make any sense. If it's a positive number, that's $80 billion in TVL. Just to give you an example, is I think Solana is on 19 billion, and it's the 5th largest DeFi protocol out there. And we've got here, So I'm not sure if I believe this. I'd love to see if there's any on-chain data that we could check in terms of, how many active wallets and are people building on it.
1.5 million Twitter X followers. If that's, I guess that just proves that it's a big network. But to be 93 on the list by market cap, you've got to be a big network. So yes, in summary, I guess this is a very big layer 2, one of the biggest, and they have, it seems like, very effectively bought activity and usage of the network by offering a airdrop. The big test, I guess, is, were these just airdrop farmers, or has this actually resulted in network activity? Are we going to see a big drop off now that the airdrops happened? Maybe there will be future ones. I don't know.
Yeah, according to Etherscan, there's been a big jump of transactions. I'm guessing that that's people just trying to convert their token holdings into other more valuable assets. The average transactions per day is about 500,000, and then that's tripled, more than tripled, since Monday. So yeah, kind of that tells me that a lot of people are just going crazy about their airdrops. I'm guessing somewhere we could go to is DeFi Llama, just to confirm
verify
the TVL.
that TVL number.
Yeah. And if anybody's watching this and you're not familiar with DeFi Llama, it's a free tool. Do go check it out, because it works super well. A lot of the data is not very accurate, and it's not loading for me right now, so I cannot really use it. But generally, this is the best place where to check TVL and do analytics. But I guess that DeFi Llama is a bit more user-friendly. Cool. I'll come back to that. Any other notes on this token, or should we move on?
No, I think we're good to move on. The next one on the list, which is IO.net, which I have never heard of. Have you ever come across this, Alex?
No idea. It seems like it's a Solana token, though. We've not looked into Solana tokens. So power of global GPU resources with a single click.
It seems like it was dropped. The token was dropped on June 11th, so earlier this month. So very new again. Not a lot of historical data to look at. The price has been relatively flat, which could be a lot worse.
Okay. And it's like decentralized computing.
Okay.
Is it? You might understand it a bit better. But it's interesting because they've got partners, Solana as a partner, and Aptos, which is a direct, aggressive competitor of Solana. So interesting to see. And I'm not sure I can see or really understand what this is. Is it that?
I think
Is it just
it's
decentralized computing for like AI projects as well? Because they've got this small AI startups.
Yeah, I think it's a deep-in project specifically for machine learning training or basically GPU compute access to use your AI model on. GPU is expensive and difficult sometimes to come by, and this seems to be attempting to decentralize it a little bit. This has been a big topic recently because it takes huge amounts of compute to train these big models, and all of that is held by like the Microsofts and Nvidias and Googles of the world. So it makes it difficult for other projects to get access. But and also there's a huge amount of centralized power there. There are gatekeepers at all of those companies. So having it decentralized is good for the wider network, wider world. And there are several other projects. We've reviewed a couple of similar ones before. There are decentralized AI companies, but also there's the more kind of there's the more tech focused deep in projects, which this one seems to be.
Yeah. What I find interesting is the amount of backing these guys have. So let alone the, Solana Ventures, Sixth Man Ventures, they've got really big names. Animoca Brands a lot. Animoca seems to invest in almost everything now. But it's the angel investors that I find really interesting, because you've got the founder of Solana, the founder of Aptos, the founder of Animoca Brands, and the founder of the Sandbox. So these are really big, high profiles.
Yeah.
And for them to put their money there is, you're not necessarily using the ventures money, but, just putting your money where your mouth is, right? So that is, I think, a very big selling point that we've not seen in a lot of projects, where founders of some of the biggest projects in Web3 are publicly placing themselves as angel investors in a project. So again, they could be wrong, but they also know their stuff.
Yeah, with this one, I think the risk is buying the narrative a little bit, because the decentralized AI narrative, especially right now, is very strong. Can IONET back it up with with delivering on that promise? Maybe. I would say it's probably, it is very early days, and whether they've actually been able to build the tech, who knows? I would, if I was going to invest in this, which I'm not, not yet. I would definitely want to know, what stage are they at? Can they actually, if I wanted to spin up use some GPU compute tomorrow, is that even possible? What is the usage on the network, and is it growing, or who's using it? Because with a lot of these decentralized AI projects, I think the promise is there and the narrative is there, but the delivery is not.
Yeah. What I'm wondering is, there is a product by NVIDIA. Can't remember what it's called, but essentially is, if you do not have a powerful computer to play video games, you can use this cloud service where you download your game directly from Steam, and you play the game on their servers using their GPUs. And you've got a free tier that allows you to play about an hour a day for free using the most powerful GPUs. And then you've got a subscription up to, I think it's $50 for 6 months. And you've got a huge amount of GPU power they're offering you for something that, if you think about it, is about less than $10 a month to have access to their GPU systems. So what I'm wondering is, how soon could NVIDIA just come up and say, hey guys, here's my decentralized GPU infrastructure. I'm building all the GPUs that everybody else is using, so I don't need to charge you an overhead. I don't need to charge you anything else. Here we go. So I'm wondering if that's going to happen, and if it does, how soon all these projects could lose that, big unique selling point.
That's a very good point. Yeah, I mean, if you want to build a decentralized GPU provider, you need GPUs. And what if the biggest seller of GPUs decides to get in on the action? They can make them a lot cheaper than you can. You can buy them. So yeah, it's a risky business model, I guess. Maybe NVIDIA has no interest in decentralized infrastructure, and maybe the bet is that they won't ever get into that business. But where are IONET getting their GPUs from? Probably NVIDIA. So where is there's a bit of a risk there, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. In any case, I think it's a very impressive project anyways. I'd like to understand it a bit more, but I guess that decentralized GPU is a narrative that we've seen already. I think that we reviewed another project a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And again, it requires a bit, just checking all these products. I just didn't really want to sign up now, but we can do that and then just share some thoughts later on. And again, I think that this is the most impressive part. The most impressive stuff is the investors and the angel investors. That is something that we've not seen up until now. So yeah, I think it's quite good. Any more notes, or should we jump on to our final token?
Yeah, let's take a look at this one, Propbase. I believe we've reviewed this before. This is a RWA project looking at property investment, if I remember correctly, which I probably don't. Let's have a look. But looking quickly at the price, so it's been around since November 2023. There was a huge spike, actually, April this year. Not quite sure what caused that. And then a gradual decline ever since. What can you remember from Propbase, Alex?
Can't remember. We review a lot of these tokens. But let's see. I'm on the website. They're built on Aptos. And that's interesting because we've seen a lot of different blockchains trying to be the hub for RWAs. We saw Hedera as a key player trying to gain some adoption on the RWAs. We have also analyzed Paxos as a provider of infrastructure and technology for RWAs. But we've not seen a lot about Aptos as an RWA player. And this is interesting. So we've got here, apparently this is the future of real estate investing. That's a claim that a lot of Web3 projects are going to be making. We are the future of insert here. So they've got about $25 million worth of, I guess, properties under management. And if I'm not wrong, I think that these guys, what they were doing is buying the houses based on, I don't know, I don't really want to make any assumptions just yet. Let's see what it is. What can you see on Twitter?
So this is the Propbase Twitter. They've got, I think, just over, was it 100,000? Yeah, 152,000 followers. But this is an interesting post that just gives you, I guess, a quick overview. Propbase, why? Imagine owning a fraction of a luxury apartment in New York City without the need for a loan. That is the promise of RWA, real-world assets, property startups in the blockchain space. A lot of people don't have access to the property market because to buy not even a luxury apartment, to buy a small house in many countries can set you back an arm and a leg. And wouldn't it be great if you could just put a small amount of money, buy some tokens, and get exposure to the market? That is, of course, possible with shares. You can buy stocks in property funds. But yeah, doing it in a decentralized crypto native way also makes a lot of sense, especially if you're also tokenizing the property itself. I don't know exactly how PropBase works. Let's see if we can find a bit more information. What is PropBase? It's a blockchain-based platform that tokenizes real estate assets, offering fractional ownership and making property investment accessible to everyone. You can now invest in a commercial property in Bangkok with just $100 or $100,000. And also, like, a big downside of property investment is having to jump through all the legal hoops. It's a very painful, slow process. So there's another reason to invest in a fund rather than doing all the steps yourself. Enhanced liquidity, increased transparency, lower transaction costs, greater accessibility for global investors. And buying and selling on the blockchain, also very easy. So potentially much quicker than if you were to invest, or definitely very much quicker if you were to invest in yourself property. That capital gets locked in the property for the length of time that you own it. You can get loans against property, but yeah, it's definitely very illiquid. Whereas the blockchain or the stock market, much more attractive in terms of liquidity.
Okay, there are several steps on the website just to explain how the process works. When you spoke about, you can own a property in New York, probably with what most of Web3 investors or anybody else would be able to get is probably just a cushion or the shower mat. But yeah, at least you get a bit of a participation, right? And you get a small portion of that house, even if it's just, again, the doormat or whatever. But we've got here as first step, as I understand it seems that they approach sellers and then they go through all the details, they do due diligence, see what the potential of the property is. And if that's done, then they move over the asset to an LLC. Not entirely sure what this means. Does that mean that PropBase buys the property, moves it over to an LLC, and then does the auction of the token? Or does it mean that the seller must wait for the demand of that property to be fulfilled based on token holders wanting to buy a portion of that home, building, flat, whatever it is? And yeah, so I'd like to know that. But what's interesting is once they reach that target, then there is a distribution of those tokens, and you, as the buyer of those tokens, you've got zero fees. So PropBase makes no money from that, but then they get a 1% if you're trying to sell. So looks like a bit of an incentive to get people to sell less of the tokens. Although looking at that price action, I don't think that incentive is working very well. Yeah, other than that, it looks quite user-friendly. I think that's the most important part for a crypto project. It must be user-friendly, easy to navigate, makes sense. They're explaining it quite well. So yeah, carry on. So
yeah, it's interesting because I mentioned stocks and the fact that you can already invest in a funds that property funds that would do a similar kind of thing, and you get exposure to the property market. With PropBase, you can choose which it seems like you can choose which property to invest in. So you can browse their properties and you can buy fractionalized tokens within those specific properties. So actually, you can have a portfolio of different properties, and you're earning different amounts, presumably, on those. How much of this is available right now, I don't know. But the promise of being able to browse around and choose your own properties instead of investing in a fund and some asset manager or some investment manager somewhere will be buying and selling the properties on your behalf, and you don't really know like where these properties are. You could browse and find this example in Bangkok and say, that looks like a good investment. Maybe you know a bit about the Bangkok property market, and you can be much more targeted with your investments, which I think is quite attractive. Again, the big question is this actually possible right now, or is this just a promise in the future? But if it was possible right now, I'd be very interested in using it, to be honest.
Yeah, why not? That way you can buy a chunk of a sofa in some very expensive New York flat, and or who knows, the price of ETH goes up in a few months and you buy the whole flat. But yeah, why not? One thing that I'm missing is information on the tokenomics. Yes, I see the distribution over here, but I'm not able to find information on unlocks, on vesting schedules, and that sort of thing. So yeah, because that could also be what could tell us why the price is going down. There is a website that we explored last time, which is Token Unlocks. How about we go and check if there's any information about Propbase? Sorry, Propbase. Nah, they do not have any. Let's see on the ticker. No, cool. So I think that it requires a bit more information as to why the price is going down. It could be there's been an unlock, or simply people are just, getting out of these investments because the overall crypto market is going down.
Yeah, it seems like we still don't know why there was a big spike in April, but it seems like this is an early stage startup. I guess we probably reviewed it around April last time when there was this big spike, but since then things have been not looking good for them. So the real test is, can they deliver? When is the app available to use? When can I buy that doormat in Bangkok? Those are my questions.
Yep, great questions. So, would you like to jump in and just share your allocation and ideas as to what token to hold, flip, or dump?
Yeah, this is a tricky one because there's no clear dumps here. I think they all have a lot of things going for them. My dump is going to be Propbase today, not because I think it's a bad idea. I actually think it's a very good idea. I just think that the token price and the kind of trend downwards kind of suggests that maybe they're not quite delivering, or they haven't delivered yet. This is a problem. Like, this is a narrative that's very strong, and that's why people are investing. But can they deliver? I don't know. It seems very, very complex, like from a legal standpoint, and maybe they don't have the resources to solve that problem. Do I think it's going to be a problem to solve in the future? Yes, I 100% think that you will be able to own a portfolio of property on the blockchain. I just don't think it's possible yet. Maybe I'd love to be proved wrong. So if somebody can point me to a platform where you can do this, I will happily sign up and invest in some property. But I just don't believe that it's going to be possible now or in the near future. I think this kind of stuff is going to take several more years before it's really a thing. So I'm going to dump Propbase. Now, my hold, I think, in this case is going to be ZK Sync or ZK Sync because it's one of the biggest layer 2s. It's very much like in the Ethereum ecosystem, which I'm very much a believer in. It's it seems like the airdrop has worked. It seems like there's a lot of buzz around it. I've come across it a little bit in the past, and layer 2s are just going to get bigger and bigger, I think, especially Ethereum layer 2s. So I'm going to hold that with the expectation that it will continue to grow alongside the Ethereum ecosystem as a whole. And then IONET, I'm going to flip it because I like the narrative, decentralized graphical processing units. But as we discussed, are there holes in their business model? Will they get eaten by NVIDIA? We don't know long term how long that's going to hold up. And we actually don't know whether they're delivering on their promises yet. Very impressive investors, though, and it's going to be one to watch for sure. So that's my 3. In terms of allocations, I'll quickly just say I'm going to keep a bit of Propbase. Let's say I'm going to keep 10% of Propbase. I'm going to go 60% ZK Sync, and then the remaining 30% IONET.
Okay, interesting. So I agree with Propbase. I think that for a project that it has such great narrative. And again, user interface looks quite good. They're really struggling. I think I'm not sure if it's a problem with the product, a problem with the tokenomics. I do know other property-based tokens are doing a lot better. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on in this chart. But yes, I would dump prop base. I would agree on that 10% allocation anyways, because still good to 10% wouldn't hurt too much. I would actually flip ZK Sync. And the reason is because I feel the price of this token will be very closely aligned with whatever happens with Ethereum. So if Ethereum's down, then this is going to be down. If Ethereum is up, then this is going to be up. So if I had to choose, I'd rather just hold Ethereum over ZK Sync. So I would flip ZK Sync just because if ETH goes up, this goes up, I flip it, and then I just change it for a bit more ETH. And I would hold IONET, I guess because I was convinced by the investors. It's a really silly thing to actually say out loud, but these people have a lot of money to waste, and they've got more money they can spend. So if they put it here, it could just be a punt. Or essentially, if they're going public with their investment, it means that they really believe in this and they're going to put every resource they've got available to make it work. So could be one of the two. So I would actually hold IONET. Now, just following what you said, I created a little portfolio with these 3 tokens based on that allocation you spoke about in terms of 60%. Where is it? So about 60% ZK Sync, 30% IONET, and 10% prop base. And if we're to see that performance against Bitcoin, weirdly, it looks like there's a slight higher performance of this portfolio against BTC. Not a lot, but still, a couple percentages higher than the overall Bitcoin performance. Bitcoin's been very flat, as we spoke at the start of this recording. Still good to perform, even if it's a 1% more than Bitcoin, still gives you 1% more gains. So, okay, maybe you're onto something. You're onto something, Robin.
Not financial advice, but
you know something we don't know. Yes, none of this is financial advice. Just a great little game, like we said, and do your own research, of course.
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching, anyone that was watching, and please let us know if we've missed anything big, because I'm sure we have, and it'll be good to hear from you. And thank you, Alex, for participating again, and we'll see you next week on Hold, Flip or Dump.